the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 38, the most stupendous two-night WrestleMania in WWE history, is days away. And I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to break down the matches. I'm going to look at the Hall of Fame class, tell you what I think is going to happen, tell you what I'm excited about, and tell you what I'm not looking forward to as well. This is the Flex Zone, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. I'm God's favorite host, the host with the moist, BKD. Make sure you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell for all notifications, and subscribe to the Flex Zone podcast, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. I'm coming right back, break down WrestleMania 38 live for you here on the Flex Zone podcast. Let's get ready to talk some WWE WrestleMania. What is going on, Flex Zone family? It's your boy, God's favorite host, the host with the moist, BKD, back with another live video for you on this Thursday evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the Flex Zone podcast, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. And right now, you need that stupendous preview and prediction for WrestleMania 38 two-night event this upcoming Saturday and upcoming Sunday, April 2nd and April 3rd from Dallas, Texas. So, as I mentioned, I'm here to talk about WrestleMania, break down the card. But first and foremost, some housekeeping rules. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that bell for all notifications when we are live and when we bring out new videos each and every day. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the podcast to stay in tune with the hottest sports podcast in the universe, the head of the sports podcast table. Throw your ones up and acknowledge us. We are the Flex On Podcast. But let's get to it. Why we are here today, it is WrestleMania weekend. And now, when you think about WrestleMania, it doesn't usually bring the normal excitement and joy that we've seen from years past. And we know WWE's creative isn't the best, and it is very lackluster, if I'm being nice at times. But we cannot deny that if you are a wrestling fan like I've been for damn near 30 plus years and you've watched all the big events and you've seen WrestleMania from its inception to now, 38 editions of it. It's an annual tradition. It's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. It is still the largest professional wrestling main event in the world. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. We see each year WWE tries to do something bigger, better than the year before, not necessarily translating to great in ring product, but with getting certain celebrities, having certain promotions, and doing it in the biggest venues and locations. Now, this year's WrestleMania is being dubbed as stupendous, and there are two nights, but really it feels like a super show of Raw and SmackDown. And there really isn't too much to get into and get excited about. And I'll break it down as I go through the card. I believe 14 matches total. So 7 on night 1, 7 on night 2. But WWE seems to think they can capitalize, make more money off of two nights of ticket sales, as well as get more people on the card. And instead of doing a 7 or 8 hour marathon, they can do a 4 or 5 hour show and do that for two nights. So you can get 8 to 10 hours of content instead of just normal 7 to 8. But I'm actually excited for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2022 because it is a loaded class. It is some great inductees this coming year. It's no Drew Carey, it's no Donald Trump, it's none of those nerds or goofs. We have legit individuals, except for one, but I'm not going to hate, who belong in the WWE Hall of Fame. And I'm going to talk about the WWE Hall of Fame first. That will take place this coming Friday, April 1st, immediately following SmackDown on Peacock from the American Airlines Arena in Dallas. So, headlining the class, probably the biggest name going into the Hall of Fame in recent memory is the Dead Man, is the Phenom, is the Undertaker. He will be inducted into the Hall of Fame one night before night one of the WrestleMania was announced by the New York Post in February 2022, and he is the biggest character in WWE history, especially since Hulk Hogan, the four-time WWE champion, three-time World Heavyweight champion, 2007 Royal Rumble winner, owner of the most impressive winning streak in WrestleMania history, will have plenty of stories to tell from his 33-year career in the squared circle. And on top of that, Vince McMahon is coming out of hiding and he is going to be inducting the Undertaker into the Hall of Fame. Mark, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you tuning in. Talking WWE Hall of Fame, then I'm going to break down the card of WrestleMania. Vince McMahon will be inducting the Undertaker. The Undertaker's a draw where he could have won it by himself, and they just tell stories and have various people from Mick Foley to Vince McMahon to Shane McMahon to his wife Michelle McCool to his brother Destruction Kane just come out tell stories, experiences about being and fighting with the Undertaker, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, whomever else they wanted to bring in. But he's the headliner, he is the main eventer, and well deserved that the Undertaker's going into the Hall of Fame in his home state of Texas. Next, we have Vader, who's basically the innovator, the trailblazer when it comes to the big men. It's time, it's Vader time, and long overdue. The big man from WWF, WCW, AWA, New Japan, AJPW, and Pro Wrestling Noah between the 80s and 90s is finally being inducted into the Hall of Fame. 6'5", 400-pound big man, the man they call Vader. Real name Leon White was one of the most iconic wrestlers of the 90s with his powerhouse moves, including his Vader Bomb and his aerial maneuvers, including moonsaults as well. This was reported by Bleacher Report in March, a little less than 4 years after the death of Vader when he passed away at 63. He last appeared on TV in 2016 at the Hall of Fame induction, where he inducted his longtime opponent Stan Hansen, and it's going to be interesting to see. Yes, Undertaker's the greatest character in history, Raj, in my opinion, and he will be there, Mark. Yes, he will. He will be there. Shane will be there. But Vader's going in long overdue, well deserved, and I'm glad to see Vader getting his just due because you stick look at the big guys now, the Keith Lees, the Warlows, of course, Brock Lesnar, whomever else you want to look at, Biggie. A lot of their moveset, a lot of the things they can do. Lance Archer is from a Vader, so well deserved for Vader. Him and Taker. That's a great Hall of Fame class in itself. The next one I'm kind of scratching my head about Queen Charmel. Charmel Hoffman, better known as Queen Charmel, will be inducted by her husband Booker T and join him he's a two-time Hall of Famer when she's inducted into the Hall of Fame. It was announced during a March 2020 interview with Complex where she discussed her career and being Miss Black America to one of the most entertaining faces in WWE. Prior to being Queen Charmel, she was a valet in WCW as a Nitro girl, and she joined WWE as an in-ring performer. Got hurt, but those plans were put on ice. She became Booker T's manager in 2005, and the rest is history. Oh, yeah, Mark, he ain't gonna be there. But Gerald, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to our newest subscriber. Everybody say what's up to Gerald. Just talking WWE, man, doing my preview for WrestleMania. But yes, Queen Charmel will be inducted. Kind of a head scratcher, but they always do one manager, it seems like each year. And at this point, there's no need of me blowing a gasket. It is what it is. So Queen Charmel will be going into the Hall of Fame. But I think the biggest thing outside of The Undertaker and just overall they're throwing her a bone because she took the N-word incident very well. Yes, she did, Mark. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. But make sure you guys subscribe, like the video if you're new. But this one, Shad Gaspar is finally going to be receiving the Warrior Award. The Warrior Award was introduced in 2015, which pays respect to the late Ultimate Warrior, and it's been given to guys Connor the Crusher, Joan London, Titus O'Neil, and several others. This year's award will be given to Shad Gaspar, the superstar who went missing and was later found dead after saving his son in a California beach, May 2020. You talk about the ultimate hero. Shad Gaspar embodies what it means to be a hero. quite simply giving up his life so his son can live. Wrestling legends like Dwayne Johnson, Triple H, Ric Flair, and others paid respect to the man after his heroic actions. You had John Morrison and other wrestlers out there searching for his body. This was announced on Fox Sports in 2022, less than 2 years after the former Crime Time member lost his life sacrificing his son. Accepting the award on Gaspar's behalf will be his wife, Celiana Gaspard, and his youngest son, who he did give his life to save. It's hard to think of someone more deserving than Shad Gaspar. Yes, Raj, King Booker, but much deserved. Congratulations. I mean, let me know. I think they should potentially put the award in his name. They can keep the Warrior Award and keep Shad Gaspar's name a part of it. Could it be the Shad Gaspar Warrior Award? And each year you can honor not only the Ultimate Warrior, but Shad Gaspar and his ultimate sacrifice. So well deserved to The Undertaker, Vader, Queen Sharmell, and Shad Gaspar. But this past week was one more. I can't forget. The Ringer announced the Steiner brothers are going into the Hall of Fame. That's right. Scott Steiner will probably have a live mic. Rick and Scott Steiner, the Steiner brothers, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a tag team, considering that's how they broke into the business. For the better part of 34 years, the Steiner brothers accumulated titles and awards from WWF, WCW, New Japan, and other promotions, and had a revolutionary approach to tag team wrestling over and over. Long time coming for the Steiner brothers to get into the Hall of Fame. Of course, Rick Steiner's son is Braun Breaker, so you know they want to do right by Braun, make sure he gets the push and becomes the next star that WWE seems to have him be. And it's going to be interesting to see because this will be on Peacock. Shad is definitely a hero. We honor what he's done here. And Ola Zulin, Zulinda, Miss Raquel. But yes, I'm excited to see the Steiner brothers get into Papa Pump, doing this big thing, kissing his elbows and his big biceps. But I would love to see what happens when the Steiner brothers get in. You got to give Scott Steiner a live mic. You got to let him speak. So let's see what happens when these individuals get the live mic, and let's see who inducts them. It doesn't say, will it be Braun Steiner? I don't know why they don't call him Braun Steiner anyway, which is goofy. But, he's next up for them, and I think they want to push him to the moon. But let me know your thoughts on the Hall of Fame class of 2022. Let's get into the card here on night one of WrestleMania here. And Papa Steroid still look buff. He does, Raj. He still does look buff. But let's get into these predictions and previews. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch defends her title against Bianca Belair night one. I mean, nothing's going to top what Bianca did last year with Sasha Banks, so we can stop that comparison. Bianca and Sasha, what they did for the culture, for women's wrestling, and for the entire women's division of WWE was unmatched, and it probably will never be matched again without two black women in the main event. And we saw what that did, transcended WWE. They won awards at the ESPYs and many various outlets. They were named Moment of the Year for their Black Girl Magic. Now, this past Monday, you saw Becky Lynch attempt to cut Bianca Belair's hair, but it ended out being Bianca Belair turned into Brutus the Barber Beefcake and cut Becky Lynch's hair. I don't know if this is going to turn into a whose hair can gut whose hair. I don't know. I'm not really thinking there's going to be much different because Raj, I don't agree because it looks like they want to keep Becky as this monster heel to eventually face Ronda, their baby face next year at WrestleMania Hollywood. But usually, when the babyface gets the last laugh, the heel gets the win. I know WrestleMania likes to have their babyfaces win, but I think we saw the squash match in SummerSlam in August, 26 seconds. Shouldn't have happened. Then we've seen Bianca lose the but Becky probably two other occasions, one on Raw, then a triple threat match with Sasha, I believe. So I don't think they're going to take the title off Becky. I think they love Becky's dirty bathwater, and they're going to do whatever they can to appease her. And I think keep her and Ronda undefeated until their matchup next year, a 1-on-1, which I think we're getting in Hollywood. But Bianca could win. I mean, she probably should win, but I don't know if she does win. Who's she going to feud with? Asuka, Lacey Evans, Bailey, Alexa Bliss. The women's division of Raw and SmackDown needs a overhaul, and they need to definitely book it way better. But I'm gonna say Bianca takes the loss and Becky retains, but we'll see what happens. Next match, This can be one of many bathroom break matches as one of our celebrity appearances. One of what, three? The Miz and Logan Paul team up against the Mysterios. Logan Paul apparently wants to get into wrestling full time. We don't know how he's going to look. To Bad Bunny's credit last year, the celebrity appearance, he did a hell of a job. I think Logan Paul is athletic with his Maverick brand, him and his brother. I think he will actually put in the work, and I think he'll have a decent showing. And I think The Miz will help out with that. And I think Ray is a good person to get in the ring with, safe, and can make you look good, especially Logan being a towering, taller guy over Ray. So I don't know. Do they split up the Mysterios here? Do they push the narrative of Dominic against his father leading into maybe WrestleMania next year? I think Dominic should be in NXT. Don't really want to see him on Raw SmackDown. But yes, Mark, this is a bathroom break match. Walk your dog, take the trash out, get you another cold. All right, I'm back. All right. Quick connection issues, but I am back. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. But I'm going with the Mysterios to send the fans home happy with the win over the Miz and Logan Paul. Sorry about that. I had a few audio issues. The next match on night one, it is Seth freaking Rollins. Yes, Seth freaking Rollins. You got to say the freaking against Cody Rhodes. I'm calling it now. I know we've heard Shane McMahon rumors. I know we've heard speculation about who's going to be Seth Rollins' opponent. I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. He's going back to WWE. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. I don't know if that's going to be a bad thing. I don't know if they're going to book him great at first and then eventually he eventually turns into a jobber or mid card at best. But I think Cody Rhodes does return here against Seth freaking Rollins. I think they try to swerve the fans maybe with a couple jokes at first. And then I can see a situation where Cody Rhodes comes out, they play his music. It's the American Nightmare, Cody with the weight belt, the tattoo and all, and he's back in WWE. And Cody gets his first win against Seth Rollins, which I think will be a hell of a match. And hopefully WWE allows Seth Rollins and Cody to get 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, Seth freaking Rollins. WWE has to over exaggerate their adjectives. Not just Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins. He's Seth freaking Rollins. A freaking elbow drop, a freaking stomp, freaking suplex, a freaking arm drag. But I think Cody Rhodes comes back and gets the win over Seth freaking Rollins. Another bathroom break match for you, Mark. You can go to sleep on this. Do what you want to do. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. They've been billing Happy Corbin as undefeated. I don't care. He's got a terrible gimmick. Madcap Moss is good, but he has a terrible gimmick too. I think Drew McIntyre makes quick work of Happy Corbin, and Drew McIntyre starts to insert himself into the whatever the undisputed WWE Universal Championship picture is after Roman and Brock gets finished on night two. Drew McIntyre gets a big win. You may try to see some interference from Madcap. He gets Claymored. You see the Angela the Sword, and I think we see Drew McIntyre get the win and move on to Roman Reigns. A little tease to who I think I'm going to win that match. We got the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. WWE doesn't have many tag teams, especially on SmackDown. So these were the only people left. You want to get Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura in front of 80,000 doing that live entrance with the electric guitar and Nakamura dancing. That's what you want to see. They're going to be on the card. They're popular. They're over. But I think the Usos, we the ones. They're not losing those belts no time soon. As long as Roman has the belt, I think the Usos and the Bloodline continue to hold those tag team championships as they get closer to a year with those belts. And I think they are the longest reigning SmackDown tag team champions ever. They keep holding on to that moniker like Roman, longest reigning Universal Champion as well. Usos beat Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. We'll probably see a rematch on SmackDown the week after. Ronda Rousey. I don't care about this match really either. She goes up against Charlotte Flair. Ronda Rousey came back, put the whole division on notice, wins the Women's Royal Rumble, sacrificing other people who were there. But I think that Ronda gets the win over Charlotte. I think she makes her tap either with the ankle lock or the armbar, and Ronda Rousey will be your new SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't like Ronda Rousey as a babyface. I think she could use a mouthpiece. I think she could use somebody to speak for her. Paul Heyman would be great. I would love to see somebody. Shoot, Sami Zayn even. I don't know, but Ronda's going to win this match. There's no way they bring her back. They're trying to build up Ronda and Becky for a matchup in Hollywood. So I think Ronda makes Charlotte tap. We probably get another rematch of this in the future as well. So we shall see what happens with that. Ronda Rousey over Charlotte Flair. Hopefully the match can be better than the build because the build has been ridiculous. And closing out night two, it looks like the main event will be Stone Cold Steve Austin appearing on the Kevin Owens show hosted by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has done a hell of a job with this feud, with this direction he's been in since re-signing with WWE. He's an excellent heel. He can talk, coming out dressed as Stone Cold, cutting promos, working with limited resources, pretty much carrying the feud by himself. I'm excited to see what Kevin Owens does the rest of this year. I would love to see him in the main event program, potentially with a WWE title run, because I do think both shows are still going to have a title if they don't end the brand split, which I don't think they will do. I think Kevin Owens calls out Stone Cold. It's kind of let on like, oh, he's scared, he's not coming out. Then you hear the glass shatter, you hear that music. Stone Cold comes out, raises hell, puts up his middle fingers, goes to each turnbuckle. Texas is going crazy. You get the KO. You get the what chance. Kevin Owens and Stone Cold go back and forth. Kevin Owens is saying, I can take you. And Stone Cold says, well, how about we make it a match? They get a referee out there. I think they go for 5 to 10 minutes. Stone Cold gives him some Thesz presses. And eventually, some arm drags, some whips him to the corner. He stomps a mud hole in him. We get some stunners on KO, and we get beer poured on KO, and that's how WrestleMania Night 1 ends. Stone Cold sending the fans home happy with a little dose of nostalgia, a big dose of nostalgia on the grandest stage of them all, which I'm happy this is main eventing. It should be. I know it's not traditional to have talk segments going last for WrestleMania, but it's very important that Kevin Owens, which he will do. He'll make this great. I think Steve Austin has reports he's been in great shape. I'm looking forward to see how he looks, and I think Stone Cold will close out night one, sending the fans home happy with some stunners. Night two, this will be the main event. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. We've seen this match plenty of times. This is for the unified WWE Universal title. We'll see how long that sticks. I think WWE, if they do retire one of the belts, they could bring back Big Goldie for Raw, but I think Roman could maybe float between both shows, maybe going into the summer just for a few months to try it out. Fresh opponents for him, new opportunities. There are rumors about some live events that Roman may be in some triple threat matches against Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. We could get Roman and Drew McIntyre. They could run back Roman and Seth, get a definitive finish, give Roman his big opportunity to finally beat Seth. So Roman will have, it looks like, some opportunities lined up heading into the summer months, but I don't know if they're going to stick to the unification of the belt. Like I said, if they do, I don't think it will be long. We could see the other belt back by the summer. But there's no way Roman Reigns can lose here. They're building him up to be the monster megastar. He's in God mode. I think Roman beats Brock clean, no interference, a spear in the center of the ring, Superman punch. I think we see blood from both guys, some announcer table spots, some out of the ring brawl. Somebody goes to a barricade. Both entrances are going to be long, so the entrances are going to be 10 minutes themselves, especially Roman, as he makes everybody acknowledge him. But I think Roman gets the win and he retains. He's the unified champion. And we'll see what they do with Roman. I think we'll see him on both shows, kind of like you saw on Monday, if only to begin for a couple of weeks. This match should open night to. I actually think Bianca and Becky are probably going to open night one since Bianca closed night one of WrestleMania last year. Edge and AJ Styles might be the best match of the weekend. Probably will be. I mean, Edge is now a heel again, pretty much the ultimate opportunist. AJ, while he's not the best babyface with the WWE, in my opinion, he's done a hell of a job with what they've given him. We know he can wrestle a broomstick and make it look good. I think Edge goes heel here and gets the big win. I know AJ just signed a new contract, but I think Edge gets the big heel win with a shady tactic or a dirty pin or using some old ultimate opportunities way, gets the big win at WrestleMania. Because remember, last year he lost. AJ then is built back up. They get a rematch maybe at SummerSlam where AJ gets the win back. And I think you could see Edge potentially, as well as AJ Styles later on this year in world title programs, whatever that world title looks like on the Monday Night Raw brand, as this is Edge's last season, excuse me, last year of his contract. The women's tag team championships mean absolutely nothing. I don't know what's worth more, the tag team titles of the women's division or KB Toys gift card. But we got the women's tag team champions, Queen Zelina and Carmella. Yes, they are the women's tag team champions. WWE does not have any tag teams. They don't need NXT tag titles either. They just need to merge that division and use one set of tag titles if they're going to do that. Versus Naomi and Sasha Banks versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. I think it's only right that Sasha and Naomi get their big wins at WrestleMania. Sasha especially. Naomi has some, but Sasha Banks will win at WrestleMania, be tag team champion with Naomi. Where they go after that, probably a split and another Sasha heel turn, but Naomi and Sasha wins the Fatal Four Way. I don't know if this is an elimination match. I guess it is. It'll probably come down to Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan against Naomi and Sasha Banks. I think Sasha will get the pin on Liv Morgan, and hopefully Rhea Ripley can get into the title picture. She deserves to be in the title picture, but Naomi and Sasha Banks will be your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. We got Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Pat McAfee is amazing in the ring. I thought he was going to be terrible. He did great against Adam Cole Bebe in NXT. Go back and watch that match this weekend if you get a chance. Now, Austin Theory is great. He's Vince McMahon's protege. This could have been a spot they could have used Shane McMahon versus Austin Theory, but I am excited to see what happens with these two. I think this could be a sneaky good match as well. I think Austin Theory gets the win here using heel tactics. He could use it more. I think Austin Theory is their next big star they're building up, and I think a guy heading into Money in the Bank should be one of the favorites to capture Money in the Bank along with Riddle. And I think he's great in the ring, has a good thing going with Mr. McMahon, and I think he gets a big WrestleMania moment and win over Pat McAfee with some shady tactics, maybe some interference from Vincent Kennedy McMahon himself. Since we'll see him at the Hall of Fame, maybe we see him on night two of WrestleMania. Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. I believe this is an anything goes match. Johnny Knoxville is a D-list celebrity. They're using him to get clicks and views. I think we get some interference with some jackass outsiders. Sami Zayn is one of the most entertaining things on WWE TV. He's good on SmackDown. Probably him and Roman are the two best things on SmackDown, but he does a good job of what they gave him. He's getting his WrestleMania spot. He just re-signed with the company. I think you're gonna see him in that mid card, upper mid card as one of the top heels on the blue brand, and maybe somebody that can be in an Intercontinental Championship chase again against Ricochet and possibly just be somebody who is one of the top two or three heels on the blue brand. And that's what he should be. Outside of Roman, he probably should be the number two or number three heel. This is an anything goes match. Expect some crazy spots and a crazy spot where Johnny Knoxville maybe pushes Sami Zayn off or something or gets some assistance from his jackass mates. And Johnny Knoxville beats Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I'm just thankful this isn't for the Intercontinental Championship. Got a Raw Triple Threat Tag Team match: RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. I don't know why they took the titles off of Alpha Academy just to hot shot them back on RK Bro. I get it. They want to let RK Bro and that rivalry, that turn that's going to happen soon, simmer and bake a little more and stretch it out. Maybe some long term booking by WWE. I give them credit because they didn't have anything else for the Street Profits and Alpha Academy, so they're going to run back the good tag team match they had a couple weeks back on Raw. But looks like the Street Profits are working heel. I wouldn't mind a heel turn from Angelo and Montez. Don't split them up. Maybe showcase them more one on one in other matches and feuds, but allow them to still tag together and be a heel team. And Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable doing the best work of their careers, working with this gimmick. A shush and thank you. And I think that they're doing a hell of a job with what they've been given. And I think Alpha Academy and the Street Profits, unfortunately, are just going to take RKOs from RK Bro. RK Bro retains, and I think we hold off on our Riddle and Orton to at least probably SummerSlam. So maybe we'll get some fresh teams for them to battle after WrestleMania, but they should unify the tag division as well. We could do RK Bro versus the Usos again. Give us a definitive winner. Maybe let the Usos be the unified tag champions, along with Roman being the unified WWE champion. And last but not least, if you missed Raw last week, Bobby Lashley returned. Bobby Lashley is back in the WWE after being hurt at Elimination Chamber. Bobby Lashley will be taking on Almost and Omos was knocked down by Bobby Lashley. Don't know why they gave that away for free on Raw, but we shall see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens with Omos moving forward. And the only reason I said that is because if WWE is really going to strap this rocket to his back, I think he's going to beat Omos. He's going to beat Lashley and probably get a WWE title run. Not run, but maybe be in some main event programs. And I would have rather them. I don't know. I thought they were going to bring back Great Khali, maybe use Veer. But I think we could see Omos if they just don't let him talk. Just use him to be a monster heel. Maybe get him a mouthpiece. Raw needs, I guess, other heels and other people to go up against their baby faces, and I think Omos can be used in that. Unfortunately, he doesn't have many people to go against as the roster is thin, but I would see Lashley and Omos are going to just slap meat, big meaty men slapping meat. I think Lashley may not even be 100%. He could still go back out again and get surgery, but I think Omos gets the victory, continues his dominance, and eventually looks at some main event programs. And I don't want him to win the title, but knowing WWE, knowing how Vince loves his Giants, I think that Omos is going to be in a world title program eventually. And basically, he's going to be like the new Great Khali. That's basically the best thing. Yes, Raj, Omos is fighting Bobby Lashley, but those are my predictions. I'll run through them again. I have Bobby Lashley and Omos. I have Omos beating Bobby Lashley, RK Bro retaining their titles, Johnny Knoxville beating Sami Zayn, Austin Theory beating Pat McAfee, Naomi and Sasha Banks winning the women's tag team titles, Edge beating AJ Styles, Roman winning the unified title over Brock Lesnar, Stone Cold beating Kevin Owens after impromptu match, Ronda Rousey becoming the new SmackDown Women's Champion, the Usos retaining their SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Drew McIntyre over Happy Corbin, Cody Rhodes makes his return to WWE and starts off with the win over Seth freaking Rollins, and hopefully he kicks off Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, continues the buzz. I have the Mysterios beating The Miz and Logan Paul, and I have Bianca Belair losing to Becky Lynch as she retains as well. Oh, I hope you have a card. I hope you have a card. Again, The Undertaker, Vader, Queen Sharmell, the Steiner brothers, and Shad Gaspar will be receiving the Warrior Award. That is your Hall of Fame class of 2022. Make sure that if you would like to support the Flex Zone podcast, hashtag the Flex Zone One. We are the only place giving you your sports how you want and when you need it. Throw your ones up and acknowledge the hit of the sports podcast table this WrestleMania weekend. I did a live stream for AEW Dynamite yesterday. So if you would like to see what I talked about, my thoughts were on that, definitely can tune in. That video is down below on the page. Make sure you like this video. If I said something you like, made you laugh, made you upset, something you didn't like, hit that like button, hit the bell for notifications, and subscribe to the podcast if you're new to the channel. Again, we're going to be here all weekend for WrestleMania 38 Saturday. Watch along live for night 1 and Sunday. Watch along for night 2. If you missed any of my predictions, if you like them, if you disagree, you have any theories, what you think is going to happen? Is Cody coming back? Is Shane going to be the opponent? What happens with Roman and Brock, Edge, AJ Styles? All these other matches, any title changes, comment down below and let me know your thoughts here on the Flex Zone Podcast YouTube channel. I'm the host of the Moist God's favorite host. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's WrestleMania weekend. I hope you're excited. The card may not look the best, but it is WrestleMania. It's a time to just spend it with people you love. Watch it with your family. Maybe if somebody hasn't seen the product in a while, bring them out of retirement and also let them know about AEW while you're at it as well. Make sure you let them know about the Flex Zone Podcast again here on the YouTube. Appreciate the love and support. And until next time, you'll see me. I'm gone. Peace.